This is Simon Kaufman. I am coming to you from Soviet Seattle in the communist territories of Washington State, where all of the children who never got picked for kickball have come together to ruin everything. If we had to sum up our political leaders in one word, it would be NERD! In Seattle, they defunded the police, made crime legal, and made it impossible to own a real gun. Pick 2 out of 3. In Washington, cops are bad, and criminals and gangs and spoiled children in costumes are good.
The Evergreen State had the fewest law enforcement officers per capita last year, ranking 51st in the nation.
There are only 50 states. How did you end up 51st? Did you get beat by Puerto Rico? They replaced cops with social workers. If you kick in the door of a crack house with a gun, the gangs will shoot back at you. But if you kick in the door with a pie chart, now you've opened a dialogue. Next time there's a mass shooting, send in the police. We defunded the police. Send in Nancy, the social worker. Hi, I'm Nancy. We're gonna have a sharing circle? Oh, we lost Nancy. For example, there was a man last November who stabbed 10 people in Chinatown, and the court set the bail at $2 million. They gave him bail because, well, we wouldn't want him to be all sad and alone in jail. I mean, he only stabbed 10 people. It's not like he stabbed 12 people. The news wouldn't even tell us who he was at first. We wouldn't want to hurt his feelings. Once they did tell us who he was, we found out he already had 9 felonies and was given probation last year for a violent carjacking with a knife. Now let's break this down. You can have a bad day. You can get in a bar fight, maybe accidentally drive drunk or say something you regret. But nobody accidentally does a violent carjacking. Oh, I didn't eat breakfast. Whenever I don't eat breakfast, I just... But if he just got more hugs, which raises an interesting question. What is the exact precise number of hugs from a social worker required to reform a rapist or murderer? How many hugs would it take? How many hugs should a thug get hugged to stop the Crips and the Bloods deal drugs? There was only one person qualified for such intense scientific exploration, the Tootsie Pop Owl.
1, 2, 3.
A few weeks ago, another repeat violent felon who just needs a hug and cotton candy actually opened fire on police officers. Here's what the Thurston County Sheriff had to say about him.
I warned everyone. I said, if we don't start taking this individual seriously, someone's going to get hurt or killed.
You knew about him before tonight.
He's a prolific career criminal. Continues to get released back to the streets.
Last year, in a study using FBI crime data that was released by the personal finance company WalletHub, Washington ranked the most dangerous state in the U.S. Another study done by a California law firm, Simran Law Group, found that Washington ranks 3rd in the U.S. for burglary, 3rd for motor vehicle theft, 2nd for vandalism, and 1st in larceny. We're number 1. We're number 1. The next story is a tragic one. Last year, a student named Amar Murphy Payne at Garfield High School saw a fight break out, stepped in to help break up the fight, and was shot and killed right there on campus. His parents sued the school district, and in the suit alleges that earlier that same day, a student in a ski mask came into a classroom and shot a teacher with an airsoft gun, and nobody at the school called 911 to report it. So, due to our weak, cowardly leaders, an actual brave kid who acted in integrity to stop a fight lost his life.
And meanwhile, detectives continue to ask for your help to identify this killer.
Have you seen this person? Are you serious? I'm looking at him right now and I can't see him. Authorities believe the shooter looks like a member of a gang that sells scavenged droids on the planet Tatooine. Just this past week in the greater Seattle area, 7 people were shot at a park in Lakewood, a teen was shot in Seward Park, and there was a triple homicide in downtown. But don't worry, you are all safe, because the globalist bureaucrats are here to protect you. Sure, the police won't show up and the criminals are running rampant, but you are safe here. The recent shooting in downtown Seattle actually was stopped by a good guy with a gun. Look at that. Do you mean if you have good people with guns, they can also help protect since the police weren't there for 2 minutes at least? Washington State, like all states who do the bidding of rich globalists who want to subjugate the citizens into communist slavery, have passed some of the most restrictive gun laws in the nation. To buy a gun now in Washington State, you have to wear skinny jeans.
Man, are you sure about this? I don't even know. Are you sure about this?
Washington just passed an illegal law that requires an honest citizen to pay the evil government to apply for a permit to purchase a gun. You know, the God-given inalienable right granted in the Constitution of Bill of Rights that prohibits any government entity to infringe upon. Well, now you must pay the government and ask their permission to exercise that God-given inalienable right that the government is not allowed to infringe upon. And if you're just not a fan of that pesky little U.S. Constitution that's always getting in the way of the smarty pants knowing what's better for the peasants, then you could always just look to Article 1, Section 24 of the Washington State Constitution. It says, "The right of the individual citizen to bear arms in defense of himself or the state shall not be impaired." So, because the right to bear arms shall not be impaired, the legislature decided to impair the right to bear arms. At the same time they enacted laws to restrict law-abiding citizens, the Washington legislature introduced a bill this year to reduce sentencing enhancements for people who actually pick up a gun and use it in a crime. And a bill reduced sentence enhancements for adult gang members who recruit child gang members to commit crimes. And then there's State Representative Tara Simmons. Tara is short for terrorist. This pudgy cheesecake enthusiast actually introduced a bill to reduce punishments for people who commit drive-by shootings. You know how it is. You're driving along, eating an ice cream cone, and whistling to the radio when you accidentally roll down the window and do a drive-by shooting. I mean, we've all been there. Tara Simmons voted to ban semi-auto rifles and standard capacity magazines, but this hypocrite of a human posted this to her social media back in March.
Kinda sad that single women need to learn how to protect themselves these days.
Oh, you mean the same thing the NRA and gun owners have been saying for years? That gun rights are women's rights? That a gun is the only way that a 90-pound grandma can protect herself from a 250-pound attacker? So, Tara Poutine Puss Simmons banned us from using an AR-15, but has no problem using one herself. Also in the news last week, Seattle legend Shawn Kemp pleaded guilty to a shooting in a shopping mall parking lot. Now I have a problem with this, because as a real Seattle-born and raised person, I feel it's safe to say that Shawn Kemp has my permission to shoot one person per year in the name of social justice. Why should Shawn Kemp be allowed to shoot at least one person per year? This is why. And if Gary Payton throws him the gun, he's allowed to shoot two people.
Gary lobs it ahead. The Rain Man will go to get it. And with one fluid motion, send it down with a jam.
It's Shawn Kemp, people, okay? This is Seattle. Grow up. Now let's show a clip of our ugly leaders in a press conference from 2 years ago when then-Governor Jadolph Inslee stood before a group of non-binaries and announced that he made us all safe.
Our gun safety laws are not the only thing we're going to do to fight gun violence. We are going to provide more mental health to our young people. We are going to attack the homelessness crisis. We are going to train more police officers so that there are more officers on the streets to protect us.
Then he passed the mic to our now governor, Dark Lord Beelzebub Ferguson.
Thank you, Governor Inslee, for your leadership over many years.
Wait a minute. We have an issue here.
Oh my gosh.
As he was beginning to tell us how we were all safe, somebody passed out and collapsed.
Is there a doctor here?
I guess it was just too much safety for one person to handle. Tell me there is not a God in heaven that right in the middle of everyone's safe, You're all safe. Nothing bad will ever happen ever again. And in my next video, I'm going to give solutions to mass shootings and gun violence. That's right. I, Simon Kaufman, have created a plan to stop all random gun violence. So please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Also, I will be headlining the comedy show this Saturday, June 14th at Desert Wind Winery in Prosser, Washington. So, it'll be Flag Day, and if you have no Flag Day plans, please come and join me. And lastly, to the people who were killed in Washington recently, even though you're dead, you are all safe.